friends. I got family.
How you doing today? A little better of a mood I got going on. I come out here with the dog, and this is what we're on.
Ahoy, mateys!
I don't know if you remember that from a previous video, but in my quest to understand anything about wiring, I put this together. These are our switches, right? We got a few different things going on with these. We have our black lines, which is our negative. We have our red lines, which is our positive, and they've all got their own little inline fuses. And the first thing we're going to do, believe it or not, is pull these off, because we're not going to use these red lines. All of these, they've got fuses in them, and every one of them is 15. So, okay, that's one thing I haven't done yet. I haven't got there. I'm still on my baby steps mode. I got to figure out what fuse I need to go in here. These are all connected. It creates a daisy chain, which means once I ground this one wire to our fuse block, that's it. This entire panel is now grounded, and in a good way. Not in the way I used to get when I was a kid.
That's it. You're grounded.
Ta-da! So we'll go ahead and we'll connect that. Right, and then that'll go onto our screws. Ta-da! I'm going to heat shrink it though. We can take our regular butt connector and we can connect these the same way, right? The one from our panel back in the blue. And the one from our new wire into the blue. And that, my friends, is our panel wired for its ground. Now, Miss Lady, a little while ago, helped me out. This came with a sheet of stickers. And they, you know, they didn't 100% fit our boat. But we had ourselves a laugh and a half. Gigaret water pressure.
There's two accessory ones, one spelled properly, one not. That's not. And then up there it is spelled right. Oh, USB socket, don't forget.
Oh, yeah. I don't know which one's better, the Gigaret socket or the USB socket.
I think USB socket is probably my favorite.
Time for surgery. I wanted to have deck light. I don't know if it's this one.
4D.
This keeps getting better.
Stern lit.
Let's get lit. Look at that. We've got our bilge pump, our main cabin light, which, I mean, it was the closest. It's going to be my little courtesy light. Our foredeck. The bow is forever known now as the 4-deek. Just been whipping out the rod, trying to catch some fat sallies off the 4-deek of the nymph, you know. Spotlight, obviously, and our running lights are gonna be our nav. I'm gonna check my diagram again, because, I don't always know what I know. So, these are daisy chained. Our 12 volt, which I'll never use. Our USB, which we'll probably use. And our voltage meter, which I'll more than likely use. So I'll do the same with this little bit of red wire snipping off here. It's a bit of a mess, isn't it? It's a bit of a mess. But that's okay. That's okay, everybody. We can live with messes, you and me. You know? I don't care if you don't care. 'Cause Friday I'm in love. Tuesday, Wednesday, whoop-dee-doo. So what we're going to do here is we're going to run this red using a spade connector. It's a different connector this time. And we're going to run that to our switch. And we're going to run this negative to here. And then we're going to have to cut a small bit of red to run, because there's 3 prongs on each switch, right? The black prongs are all hooked together, and that's them going in here. This red wire that's coming up from the lights, well, we're saying to the switch, hey man, you're going to control those lights. But then in order to fuse it, we need the second prong to go, okay, if I'm going to do that, I need a little bit of juice from over here, because this is what's hooked to the battery. So the battery feeds this triggers it, and off goes the lights. And because we're doing 360s, right, we are going to have to put the 2 reds together. And we can put the 2 blacks together too. That's the bilge pump. Other than that, nothing's working. That doesn't make any sense, does it? Didn't wire the bilge pump any differently than anything else. Bilge pump comes up, black to black, red, to switch, switch to block. Works. captain's light. And I tested it, remember? Oh! Oh! So does that mean the front... But not the front wires. I don't know. I'm going to have to Google it, but surely it wouldn't be something like too much fuse would cause it not to run. Does that make any sense? Like,
You sound insane. Do you realize that?
I have no idea. I didn't wire anything differently. So it's not that. Let's try this then. Nothing. So something between there and here is wrong. That's all there is. That's all there. I mean, I would assume, right? Because original connection, this works, they don't. Reconnect it, this works, they don't. Just them, they don't. So then the only logical thing would be between here and there, something has happened. It's pinched or it's caught, and I don't know how that's even possible. Which would mean we're pulling up the floors to see. Now, the captain's light's right here. So it, honest to God, does not make any sense. The only thing I can think... No, that doesn't make any sense either. I was going to say the daisy chain. But no, that doesn't make any sense. Positive to positive to positive. Down to the box. Negative, negative, negative. Over to here. Yes. But the panel lights aren't working. What the hell? And I tested every single thing before I put the floor in, and it all worked. You saw it. And before I start pulling up the floors, what about this captain's light? You know, like, I really do not understand. And I could pull the captain's light, and I could cut off the connectors, and I could throw it on the battery and see if that lit it up. But if it did light it up, that doesn't... Then what? It's just a faulty panel? Is that a thing? I do not know. I have no idea why this stuff isn't working, and there's no Google phrase I can think of to just... I think in the interim, while I noodle this, I'm going to keep going, all right? I've got the spotlight thing to build and carpet. I've got the back gas deck to finish. So I'm going to work on that, and in the back of my head, think about this. Because the only thing that comes to mind right off the top is that somewhere underneath the wiring, I don't know, it's going through a hole in the floor of the bow, a hole through the floor of the second seat, and up to the fuse block. That's it. And the captain's light isn't. The captain's light's doing nothing. It just turns over and there you go. And I tested that thing and it lit up nice and fine. So I don't know if it's because the negatives are daisy chained. I don't know. I don't think so. I don't know. But I could sit here playing, cutting, twicking, blogging, blah, 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 blah.
They say we crazy.
I'm at least going to do something useful. And my hope is that as I'm doing other things that are useful, my gears will crank to a spot where maybe they'll go, oh, you know what you might want to try? So we'll keep moving on the boat. This is not an ideal situation. So what we have to do here, I've got one slab, right? But it's going to rest on these. And I think I'm going to have to put another set of those here, because this bar is going to be used to hold in the bracket, as are these. So the first thing we're going to have to do is toss a couple of brachiakis in there. Hey, that looks pretty good. Look at these.
Is your battery charged?
Oh, that's unplugged. Remember I moved the main cabin light over to the bilge pump to see if it would change it?
Yeah, I can see. I was following the cables. What order these go in?
That's the only thing I wondered, but I don't think so.
Could the fuses be in wrong?
Nope.
Backwards.
Nope.
Could the fuses be blown?
That little horseshoe would be cracked if they were.
Okay.
Because I was like, well, maybe if the 360's working but the nav lights aren't, maybe it's too much on one circuit, so I rebuilt it just for the nav lights.
Mm-hmm.
Nope, they don't work. But the 360's fine. It makes no sense.
Your 4D.
Mm-hmm. They don't work. Luckily, I have another boat, or another battery for the John boat. Oh shit, can you pull this up? Thank you. Of course, neither of us are there to see if the lights are on. So,
Lights on.
lights on.
Lights on.
So I ask you, what the
Yeah, that doesn't make any sense.
You saw the light turn on.
I 100% saw the light turn on.
Okay.
Which means your black side is fine. Nothing. No light. Light on.
Are these, am I not doing these properly?
Like, did you maybe get, I don't want to say lucky with the bilge one, because you did that one too.
Mm-hmm. Like, I don't know. Unless the only thing, my love, is that I'm doing this wrong. I'm gonna have to, maybe I'll see if I can find a video on these because that's the only
That's the only thing.
not Occam's razor.
Process of elimination.
Yeah.
Because if the bilge pump is working,
And the 360 worked, but the other two didn't. Well, for today, I don't know, man. I'm gonna have to get back on the Googling. Today's Sunday. I have a ridiculous amount of deadlines tomorrow, so I won't be touching this. So Tuesday, I guess, will be the next day I can touch it. And I've been trying to get my videos out on Tuesdays. I'm doing this as sort of a three-parter. The idea was Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday, and then, you know, boom, Friday we're out. But I don't know, we'll see. I got the wind out of my sails again, bro. The light works right off the battery, but it doesn't work on the switch. But the switch works the bilge pump, so it's not the switch. Maybe those connectors are no good for LED. Maybe I'm putting the connectors in not enough, too much. I don't know. Back to my buddy Googly. We'll see you cats tomorrow, hopefully, or Tuesday. Hopefully we can do something about it. I'm downstairs, down in the cellar, down the bowels of the lodge, and I'm watching Theo Von, and I notice he's got this kind of lower bite when he gets annoyed. Looks very strenuous on the jaw, and I thought, that's a very negative thing. And then my brain goes, negative. Why is your positive line at the top of your fuse block when that's where all your negative connections are? And consequently, your negative connections at the bottom, which is where all your positive things are. Ladies and gentlemen, I come running out to the garage and I check. There is a negative sign and a positive sign on this here fuse block that I somehow missed. I reverse the house negative and the house positive. And what do we see here? We see power. Ladies and gentlemen, the boat has been wired. And it took an idiot to screw it up, but it also took a genius to fix it. And I want to thank Theo Von, because if I wasn't so fixated, I wouldn't have got fixated on the word negative. Good night, sweet prince.